Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Good afternoon, First Deputy Speaker, sir. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to make this ministerial statement in this August House on the observance of the Disability Rights Awareness Month in Malawi. This is one of the vital mechanisms that my ministry is undertaking to promote rights and well-being of persons with disabilities in the country. On the onset, First Deputy Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, the President of the Republic of Malawi, for appointing me as the Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare. This displays the trust that His Excellency, the President, has on me to serve the most marginalized and deserved, the nameless and vulnerable population groups. I gratefully promise to take this noble task and serve with excitement, zeal, commitment, agency, and umuntu. Let me also congratulate you, First Deputy Speaker, the Speaker, and the Second Deputy Speaker, honorable ministers, deputy ministers, and all honorable members on their victory and opening your door into Parliament. Congratulations. First Deputy Speaker, sir, one of the mandates of my ministry is to promote the quality of life of persons with disabilities in the country. As such, my ministry works with various sectors to help them incorporate disability issues in their respective plans, policies, and programs. Not only that, First Deputy Speaker, we also undertake different awareness initiatives about disability to promote mindset change and foster inclusion of persons with disabilities. First Deputy Speaker, in the spirit of promoting communion and solidarity by ensuring that voices of persons with disabilities are included in the national development agenda, my ministry collaborates with local and international and governmental organizations, civil society organizations, development partners, including the Federation of Disability Organizations in Malawi, FEDOMA, and its affiliate organizations of persons with disabilities. We subscribe to the idea of nothing about us without us, to effectively reach out to and serve this population group. First Deputy Speaker, at this point in time, allow me to zero in on the purposes of this ministerial statement, which is the observance of the Disability Rights Awareness Month in Malawi. The government of Malawi commemorates this Awareness Month annually since its adoption in 2015. It was created to provide our country with the opportunity to engage in various initiatives that promote understanding of human rights issues concerning persons with disabilities and highlight areas that require action. Besides, this month-long observance acts as a precursor to commemoration of International Day of Persons with Disabilities that falls on 3rd December annually. First Deputy Speaker, we have embraced the month as one of the mechanisms for dealing with deep-rooted and stereotypical negative attitudes towards persons with disabilities because positive change requires communal effort. As we observe the Awareness Month, we are guided by global theme for the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. As such, this year's theme is Fostering Disability-Inclusive Societies for Advancing Social Progress. The theme calls for a society that provides equity in accessing social justice and at the same time having inclusive institutions for attaining sustainable development. This aligns with goal number 16 of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development that recognizes disability inclusion as an essential condition for building effective accountable, and responsive national development institutions, policies, and programs. First Deputy Speaker, significant about the theme is the need to provide disability-friendly infrastructure and facilities that continue to pose barriers for participation of persons with disabilities. My ministry, through the Malawi Council for Disability Affairs, MACODA, is taking a step ahead to enforce Section 28 of the Persons with Disability Act of 2024 to allow persons with disabilities enjoy their right to access and use buildings, facilities, amenities, and services that are open or provided to the public. May I implore all those who own buildings that are for public use to adapt or make those buildings accessible to persons with disabilities by 15th April 2029. First Deputy Speaker, let me also remind all local government authorities, all those responsible for physical planning, that under the Persons with Disability Act, it is against the law to grant permission for or approval to any construction of a building for public use that does not conform to standards of universal design. Ministry of Transport and Public Works, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Ministry of Health and Sanitation, and Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, please help us on this. We are continuing to see inaccessible public infrastructure being erected in our councils, towns, and cities. We need to see existing facilities and buildings made accessible and newly constructed ones that are fully accessible to persons with disabilities. Through you, First Deputy Speaker, I would like, therefore, to ask all honorable members in this House to be on the lookout for all construction projects in their constituencies and district councils to facilitate access and use of such facilities and buildings by persons with disabilities. Furthermore, may I request you, honorable members, to consider allocating a percentage of resources for the from the Constituency Development Fund for interventions that will specifically benefit persons with disabilities. These are affirmative actions that can immediately and easily begin to influence at this level, I believe. First Deputy Speaker, allow me to tackle something about persons with albinism. The DPP government, under the leadership of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, is committed to end atrocities and violence against persons with albinism. We all know that these atrocities have been rooted in unfounded beliefs, myths, and misconceptions. Persons with albinism are human beings. Their skin color does not reflect any differences, but rather it is a symbol of human diversity. It is pleasing to note that effort by the government and other stakeholders are giving us positive outcomes. It is very important to equally recognize the dedication and zeal which we have shown as a nation in rising persistently to overcome the atrocities. First Deputy Speaker, while we are making this progress, it is sad that some perpetrators are vandalizing graves and exhume or attempt to exhume bones of the dead. Let me therefore call upon traditional leaders, district councils, members of parliament, and all the stakeholders to make sure that deceased persons with albinism are buried in graves that are strengthened with concrete. We have also a skin cancer as another silent attacker that is claiming more lives of persons with albinism in the recent years. First Deputy Speaker, we are deeply worried because interventions to control this killer are not well advanced. As such, the country is losing a lot of people to this preventable disease. This is one of the challenges that we must jointly address as a country. May you be informed that currently my ministry is leading an inclusive, participatory, and accountable review process of the current framework for protection and promoting of human rights of persons with albinism in the country. The National Action Plan on Persons with Albinism 2018-2022 to come up with a successor plan. Let me take this opportunity to warn those that are still promoting violence against persons with albinism. Know that once we catch you, it is over with you. The law will bite you, and we will make sure that you will not exit the door of the jail. First Deputy Speaker, in conclusion, I would like to challenge honorable members here to do something that will promote rights of well-being of persons with disabilities in their respective constituencies during this Disability Rights Awareness Month. This thing should not be a handout or charity, but something that will empower and have significant effect on the lives of persons with disabilities and promote their independence and dignity. At this point, let me thank you, First Deputy Speaker, once again for giving me this opportunity to make this statement in this House. I would like to assure you, honorable members, that my ministry is committed to promote and safeguard rights of all persons with disabilities in the country. However, this is achievable if we also allocate enough resources for disability inclusion to my ministry and other related ministries. Issues affecting persons with disabilities are intersectional in nature and require joint efforts among all sectors, players, and all of us. With these few remarks, I thank you, First Deputy Speaker, and thank you, honorable members, for your attention.
Honorable Member for Soji Zingwangwa, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, First Deputy. First and foremost, congratulations once again. Congratulations, Minister, Honorable Minister, for a well-presented statement, enlightening. Two questions. Persons with disabilities, I choose to call them persons who are differently abled. I think there's an issue of malnutrition. In my constituency, a lot of persons who are differently abled, they're also facing challenges with regards to malnutrition. So I wanted to know from the Minister, through you, First Deputy Speaker, if there are any plans or if there are any interventions by the Ministry to sort of have food relief, more especially supplements for persons who are differently abled. The second question is on access. She mentioned equity, and we're all aware our constituencies have been allocated 100 million for women and 100 million for youth. I don't know if there is any collaboration with the Minister of Local Government. If we could have a suggestion, maybe, if we could have an approach where we have a quota on the 100 million for youth and 100 million for women, where, you know, persons who are differently able could also get access to these loans. So I think that's, to you, First Deputy Speaker, that's a question to her with regards to collaboration, zeroing in on the 100 million for youth and women, specifically for persons who are differently able. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. There's Mulunguni. Have I pronounced your constituents well?
First Deputy Speaker, thank you for recognizing the people of Dzina Mulunduni.
Mulunduni.
Mulunduni, yes, sir.
Thank you. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. Allow me first to congratulate the Honorable Minister for the well-presented statement as we go towards the commemoration of the rights of people with disabilities. In one thing that we all agree is that people living with disabilities, but particularly those with albinism, have been a target in this country. And I applaud the minister for sounding a strong warning towards those that perpetrate these kind of barbaric acts. First, it would be a suggestion that she has extended a call to parliamentarians to act deliberately in a way to protect people with albinism. I would want to request first that politicians should be warned specifically, not only witch doctors and would-be perpetrators of these acts, because it is a fact, it is on record, that politicians have also been associated, or have been mentioned in cases where people with albinism have vanished or have lost their lives. So, Honorable Minister, as you are responding to the questions, sound a deliberate, a clear, special warning to politicians in the country as well. My question, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister has said or has called upon the citizenry to make sure that when people with albinism have died, they should be buried in concretized graves. This is a good call, Honorable Minister, that is to protect the bones of dead people who lived with albinism. But there have been plans, or there have been programs in this country where the people living with albinism must be protected, provided with medical care, provided with security, and also provided with housing. Wanted to know if those plans are there in the action plan. And secondly, if there will be any provision of the said cement to concretize the burial grounds for these people, because this is someone who, while he was alive, he could not even access the cream that they need. While they lived, they could not access the protection. While they lived, they could not have housing, and even when they are dead, they can't afford a coffin. But here we are being called upon to provide cement for the concretization of their graves. Is there going to be any provision, just like you've provided for housing, towards the burial of these people? Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Baraka Ngwangwa.
Allow me to thank the honorable member for Sochi Zingwangwa constituency. The honorable member would like to ask my ministry to provide the food supplements, particularly to children with disabilities. I would like to assure you, honorable member, that my ministry is working with the Malawi Council for Disability Affairs to identify families and households with children with disabilities so that we have a clear picture on the actual needs on the ground. However, some efforts that the ministry has done to seek for support from organizations and companies to help with resources and foodstuff, especially fortified porridge that we will provide to such families and households. So I would like to assure you that my ministry will address your issue very soon. The second question from Sochi Zingwangwa is the issue regarding to loans for the people with disabilities. You have indicated that women and youth have been allocated 100 million per constituency every financial year. Indeed, it is important to also consider those with disabilities. And my ministry is working hand in hand with NIFI. There's a special package for persons with disabilities. And also, we have a disability fund within my ministry. I thank you, honorable member. First Deputy Speaker, there's also a question from Dzina Mulunduli.
The name is pronounced Dzina Mulunduni.
Dzina Mulunduli. Thank you so much, honorable member, for the Dzina Mulunduli constituency. First Deputy Speaker, the honorable member is suggesting that a strong warning goes to perpetrators that, that are involved in the killing of persons with disabilities. Indeed, these issues has been there for a long time, and we are working tirelessly to ensure that all perpetrators, all perpetrators, whether from political parties or which doctors, we are going to deal with them, and be assured, issues of killing of persons with albinism will be history. We will arrest them one by one. I thank you, Honorable. The last question comes from Balaka Ngwangwa. Allow me to thank the Honorable Member from Balaka Ngwangwa for his question. The Honorable Member would like to ask my ministry to consider allocating teachers with special needs in his constituency. I would like to assure the Honorable Member that I've taken note and will sit down with my colleagues in the Ministry of Education. I thank you, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much. Chirazolo Masanjara, Dowa East, and Mwanza Central. In that order, please.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker. I would like to say thank you to our Minister for a beautiful presentation. I have two questions only. In my constituency, I have over 200 people that are disabled. So my question is the government working on projects or some way of providing businesses or something to these people that these people that are physically challenged should be able to provide for their families? I'm asking this question because in Kenya, there was a certain street that the government modified 3 cycles for people that are physically challenged. Example, a guy with 1 leg, they were allowed to use the 3 cycles, and the kabaza, they are used mostly by people with 2 legs. So is the government working on something like that, at least that these people should be able to provide for their families? At least we create a certain business or a room for them. My other question is, I feel like in the group of these physically challenged people, their world is very small. I'm saying this because we do not have a lot of sport activities for these people. So my question was, is the government also able to look into something like this, that we provide sport activities special for these people? Because I've also seen in other countries, they have celebrities that are disabled. So we have kids at school. I wish they would stand up and mention and point at someone that when I grow up, I want to be like such a person. So in the world of showbiz, I think Fredokiss would understand. They make celebrities. So I think, so my question was that are we able to introduce some sport activities suitable for these physically challenged people? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honourable Member, I don't know what you meant when you said Fredokiss. Actually, the chair was so worried to say, is that a new word? Is that a new word that you have just originated from Chirazolo Masanjara? Or is it a river in Chirazolo? What is Fredokiss?
I'll take that back. Sorry, my friend, I forgot. Honorable Karua, since we are good friends, so sometimes I say that. Yeah? Branta City. I'm very sorry for that. Thank you very much.
Oh, you meant the Honorable Member for Zingwangwa Sochi constituency.
Honorable Member for Zingwangwa Sochi constituency.
Now you got it. I didn't know his other name was Fredokiss, so actually starting to like the Fredokiss name than the other name. Thank you.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.